What is up, guys? My name is Dave Colagiovanni. I'm the owner to SUPRA Inspections. This is the SUPRA Show, where I interview the most important people in real estate. I'm hanging out right now with my co-host, Doug Chicarico, and our guest, Denise Friend, Regional Manager of the River Towns of Houlihan Lawrence. Denise, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here. I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Awesome. Great. So we got to start here. How did you get into real estate, and what did that progression look like to get to regional manager?
Sure. I'll give you the Reader's Digest version.
Please. Thank you.
So actually, my husband and I moved to Westchester about 18, 19 years ago. Just packed up and moved from Binghamton, New York.
Whoa.
We both were professionals, but we also flipped houses on the side.
No way.
Yes. We lived in some. We put children in some.
Wow.
And so we always dabbled in real estate. We loved real estate. When we moved to Westchester and we looked at housing prices, after we picked ourselves up from the sticker shock, I said, I think what I'll do is get my formal license and go into real estate.
Wow.
And so I started real estate in Westchester, no sphere, no family, no connections here. And then it just continued to progress from there and moved along. I started as a brand new agent in Westchester, and within a couple years, because I did have management experience, they tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, would you go into management?
Yeah.
So my journey went from office manager in Westport, Connecticut, to office manager in Rye, New York, to office manager in White Plains, and then I became the regional for all of Westchester and Metro New York with the company I was with at that time. Yeah. And then a year ago, I came to Houlihan Lawrence. They tapped me on the shoulder again and said, hey, you want to come on over? So who wouldn't want to be with the number one company in number one brokerage in Westchester?
Wow.
And so I came over to be the regional to build the River Towns region.
That's awesome. I can't, so, I mean, so what was the stuff that you were doing up in Binghamton? And you were born and raised in Binghamton?
No, actually, I was born and raised outside of Utica, New York.
No way. Okay.
Yeah.
More north, and was that a little more east?
It's right, almost dead center in the state, so it's north.
Oh, just straight north.
It's way up. It sits right between Albany and Syracuse.
Yeah. I know the area. I used to live in like Cortland.
Oh, yes, Cortland. That's more Binghamton side. But.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, that's cool. So you start there. Just, tell me about some of this home flipping experience.
It was really fun. I like to do hands-on things. And what I was doing in Binghamton is I was deputy director of a museum.
Whoa, cool.
Yes. And so the creative side has always been a part of me. So flipping houses, there's that creative side. It's a lot of hard work too, but
I bet
there's the creative side of creating something different from what you see when you start.
A lot of things they don't show you on the TV shows when you're flipping a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, like trips to the hospital.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things.
No way.
On TV, they have a little girl takes the hammer to the wall and the whole wall comes down.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
It's not.
No
and then
way.
In 2 minutes, the whole place is gutted. Yeah, it doesn't happen like that.
Oh my gosh, I bet. All right, so I want to so how's business now? What's going on out there?
I could answer that by saying both sides of the coin, right? And Doug is actually walking the streets in it. It's good and it's challenging at the same time. It's good because the inventory that comes on the market goes off. It goes up many times over asking. Goes off very quickly. Since 2019, there have been an overabundance of buyers and a slowing down of inventory. That was even pre-COVID. Once COVID hit, the market went wild. And the inventory level continued to go down and down and down. And this year we're really struggling. We were really hoping that in 2023, the spring market, we'd start to see a recovery.
Yeah.
And the challenge is not buyers. The challenge is not pricing. The challenge is inventory.
Really? Yeah.
And so that's what's really, there's 20 people, there's 50 people for one piece of inventory that comes on the market.
Got it. I do find that, especially with the pricing now, buyers are really looking for like a real deal out there, and sometimes they got
non-existent.
It's non-existent, and I'm going to ask this question again today in another interview, but where are some buyers like they're looking for deals, and now they might look at a home that might need like a lot of work. Right? Where do buyers, the average home buyer, where should they draw the line when they come across a home that needs a lot of work and they're looking for that deal? They're like, oh, this thing needs a whole basement renovation, or I needs a brand new roof and a foundation and something like that. I mean, where should buyers really be drawing the line when they're looking for that home that's going to save them some money, like initially, but it needs work?
There's no saving money in this market. Would you agree, Doug?
Wow. Yeah. That's a really great point.
I would think one of the problems we created a whole generation of people that just work in an office. They don't have necessarily the skills to get in there, or even necessarily the contacts to get in there and renovate a house. Yeah. So everyone that's coming to look now, they want something that's already renovated, whereas I have a background in construction. So I'm going in. I don't mind going in and have to redo the kitchen and redo the bathrooms. Yeah. Especially also the influx of like HGTV influence on the market.
Yeah.
People see this and that's what they want. They want like the Instagram worthy house, or the finishes ready for that. Yeah. So they could just move in and take a picture and show their friends.
Yeah. No, without a doubt. And so, I mean, like, are we seeing that light at the end of the tunnel right now? I mean, is it there? Is it like, I mean, where do you see us?
I think the light's behind their butt right now.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I think that there's been a number of times that we think the light at the end of the tunnel is almost there. Yeah. And please, if you see it ahead of me, call me.
Yeah, I will. Yes.
I see light. Yeah. I follow a lot of economists. I read a lot of financial information because just trying to get a good feel on where is this going. And the first light at the end of the tunnel we thought would be the end of 2022, the fourth quarter of 2022. Didn't happen. Wow. Then we thought it would be the spring market of 2023. Yeah. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Most economists are saying we're looking at 2024.
Yeah. So, well, the thing is, I mean, like if you set time and year aside, I mean, what are some clues that things are going to start to improve? Does it have to do with interest rates, or does it have to do with just motivating people to list a home or to buy? What's the
key
clue?
Right there is the inventory. It's the inventory, and I have been saying to the agents all along, what we really need to boost this market that we're currently in is new construction.
Yeah,
because sellers are sitting in homes. Yep. If they refinanced, right, we see this a lot. If they refinance at 2%, 3%. What's their motivation to move and go buy something at 6%?
Wow.
Number two, where are they going to go? To your point, where are they going to go? The inventory is low. If I sell, then what am I going to do? Rental rates went way up because people were selling because it was the height of the market and pricing, we thought.
Yep.
And then they went into rentals and they would pay anything for rentals. So now even rental market, there's low inventory and prices are high. So what really has to happen is we need to see inventory. So what's going to motivate inventory? We have the buyers.
Yeah.
What's going to motivate sellers is a motivation for sellers to be able to move. Yeah. Interest rates coming down, so sellers say, okay, well, I can pay 4% in a new place if I'm paying 2 or 3% because of refinancing, or more inventory opens up so that they have a place to buy, whether they're moving up or they're downsizing. There needs to be that inventory for them to be able to make a move.
Yeah.
Otherwise, sellers are stuck and buyers are desperate.
Wow.
Now, on the topic of sellers, what are some tips you have for people that are thinking about selling their house?
Oh, that's a great question. I think one of the things you need is a local professional. You need a local realtor who knows what's been going on in the market, where is the hot spot of the market, how would whenever I talk to sellers, I don't like using, how are we going to price your property? What I say is we have to properly place your property in the market. So let me show you as a local realtor what that placement looks like and what's been going on in the market. So the first thing, Doug, actually, that they really need to have is a local professional who can tell them. The other thing is we don't just sell properties, we sell lifestyles.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons properties can go 100,000 over asking, 200,000 over asking. Last week we had a 400,000 over asking price in a property, is because they're willing to pay that for the lifestyle that they're looking for. They're looking for this area, or they're looking for this convenience. Travel into the city is increased some, but people are still not back in the city 100%. So they're looking for that other lifestyle of where they can live and what does their recreation look like, that they're looking for, et cetera. The other thing with sellers is look around your house and think to yourself, what was the one thing that made me buy this house? And was it the backyard?
Yeah.
Was it the open concept? And is that the thing that looks right now like a showpiece? Right? So prepare whatever.
Yeah, that's great.
So prepare whatever attracted you to be that first attraction to a buyer who's looking for your home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I think the number one really key is local professional who can give you the information.
Yeah.
Now on with buyers. What advice do you have for buyers to not get discouraged in this market, or how should they approach it?
The number one thing to remember for all buyers is the market changes. It'll correct itself.
Yeah.
We were hoping sooner.
This too shall pass.
Yeah.
So the other thing is be realistic. I can't stress enough working with a local realtor, right? If your price point is $600,000, trust your realtor when they say, let's go look at houses that are priced at $500,000. Why? Because that realtor is going to tell you what's happening in bidding wars, what's happening with pricing.
Yeah.
And buyers, don't get discouraged. Hang in there. The market will change. The market has to correct itself, and there will be opportunities. Stay connected to your realtor, though, because if you just go silent until the market changes, you're not going to have the heads up of when the market is when we start to see that light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Right? I want my buyers. You want your buyers to know.
Wow.
All right, we're starting to see this movement.
I think that's a really great key. You got it, I mean, Doug's got to keep people on the hook, but at the same time, like, you should be keeping your realtor on the hook. Like, you can't just you're right. Like, you can't just totally disconnect and then go shop for someone else.
Especially in this market, a lot of times we act as like a psychiatrist almost for our clients as well.
Yeah.
And on the flip side of that,
Best of the
Denise
best.
has to be the psychiatrist for us agents.
I do.
And here at the other end.
So
You're easier to work with than clients, though.
So Denise, all right, let's talk regional manager. How are you managing? How do you manage? Your agents. I mean, what's the biggest thing you do during your day to keep agents motivated and ready to go and keep doing their thing?
I do a lot of nagging.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
I do a lot of demanding.
Yes.
And I think in this market, I even have top agents who are discouraged, who are frustrated by that they don't have 12 listings like they normally carry.
Yeah.
Every listing is competitive, right? Because all the realtors are feeling this market. So if a seller knows 3 people in the local area and they call those 3 people, you can bet all 3 of those realtors are going to come in and put their best foot forward. So my job is to make sure that I not only encourage and give counseling to my agents, but it's important for me to know that they have the best tools. They have the best approach. They have the best dialogue. They know how to sell their value. They know how to provide service, even if it's not a property right now. And so for me, it's giving those opportunities to be able to work with the agents to say, where are you at? What are you working on? Hey, have you tried this? What are you doing for marketing? Because this is the time to be marketing yourself so that you're top of mind when the market starts to make a change. Hey, have you tried this? Let's try this.
Yeah.
And to be able to also help them see what was successful to them in the past and what do they need to either add to that, or sometimes what do they need to subtract from that because of current market conditions.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of push also for community involvement. You have to be in front of people. So I'm going to tell everyone on your podcast right now, the secret to being a successful realtor, you have to talk to people.
Wow. That's it. No, I feel you. Doug agrees.
Yeah, definitely.
And what would be does your advice change from, say, a brand new realtor as opposed to a veteran realtor? Like talking to them individually or as a group, does your advice change? Like if you were talking to them individually, like about like strategy? And
I think strategy changes, and I think it changes because a new agent has to tap into, which is not my story at all. They have to tap into their sphere. They have to let everybody they know, neighbors, co-workers, family, all of those people know I'm in real estate now, and they have to work the relationships they already have. And it's really important to be a successful realtor. It's not about the transaction, it's about the relationships.
Yeah.
And so a new realtor has to really tap into those relationships. A seasoned agent, a top producer such as Doug, has to then look at what other ways can I get myself in front of people I don't know?
Yeah.
How do I stay top of mind? What kind of service, what kind of value can I provide to people I don't know? And where are they?
Yeah.
And what is the best return for not only my money that I put in, but my effort that I put in? As realtors, our time is money. And
Absolutely.
that has to be
Yeah.
the strategy. That's where strategy changes. Then there are things that are real estate 101 that are the same no matter if you're a top producer and you've been in the business for 30 years or you started 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, like Doug introduced, I mean, like years ago, I mean, when I met Doug, he introduced me to like a wide variety of just markets and networks to sort of get involved into, including these guys behind the camera that just was like, you know, I mean, he's working all angles, you know, I you know.
He's always working.
He's always working.
Always working.
It's incredible, you know, but you know, so Doug, like talk about like how do you reach new markets, man? I mean, like what does that look like for you? And like if you were like, you know, man, like I really need to increase the network right now, and like you have so many networks going on, how do you go further into that realm?
So that's the challenge for me. A lot of agents just work in their area, and that's what they know.
Yeah.
I've kind of been all over the place. I've lived in Westchester. I lived in Connecticut. I went to boarding school in Connecticut. I went to school in prep school in New York.
Yeah.
I played baseball, football, hockey, competitively. So I have a wide range of a sphere, and just trying to maintain relationships with them. That's why I don't mind going up the line a bit, or I go into Connecticut or go into the other areas of Westchester. Whereas some people, they only know where they are and they're very good at that area.
Yeah.
I've had the fortunate opportunity to have a wide range of experience that helps me in other markets.
You're not just a hometown realtor, you know? And you do well in say like Elmsford, but like I know like you're everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, we've gone up to Poughkeepsie, to Cortland, to Hopewell.
Yeah.
And it just, you go, especially in this market, you go where the business is.
Yeah. No,
You gotta
without a doubt.
hustle.
Yeah. And what is so what's you know, what does your hustle look like today? I know you're not like an
Daily
agent.
grind.
I mean, what does the daily grind look like? What is you know, what motivates you, Denise, to keep this going? I mean, you're doing a great job with all of what you manage. You know, what keeps you motivated?
You have to love what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I love real estate.
Cool.
I love that it changes all the time, that you work with different people all the time. And yet, there's the challenge to stay in touch with the people that you've already touched.
Yeah.
So the daily grind for me is keeping my agents motivated, keeping them encouraged, especially in this market that just seems to be droning on for us.
Oh, yeah.
Keeping them motivated, keeping them encouraged, continuing to give them information. Sometimes not from my voice because it gets old, or my emails because they get old, but giving them other resources that they can put in their bag of tricks as well, per se. And then the other thing is my job as a regional is growth.
Yeah.
It's growth of the production of the agents that exist in my region, and it's growth by bringing new agents into the region, with new agents as well as experienced agents.
Yeah.
And so my goal every day, the goal for the agents is, what did you do today to build your business? What did you do today to get a listing? Mine is, what did you do today to facilitate growth?
Yeah.
And it comes in those different categories of growth of production inside, bringing new agents in that I can grow into successful agents, and then bringing experienced agents in who may not be so happy with the broker that they're in right now.
Yeah.
And who wouldn't want to be with the number one brokerage in Westchester? I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm glad you touched on that. As a manager, part of your job is recruiting. What are things you look for in agents that you're trying to bring on, or for agents that might see this and might want to come work for you?
Oh, great question. First of all, there's culture. There's culture in our offices. There's culture in our company. And so everybody has a reputation out there, especially when you're working with the public, right? Realtors know realtors, people know who realtors are. And so I look first for those people that I either know or I know have a good reputation, who will be a positive part of our culture and not a negative influence on our culture. So that's one of the things. I look for production and experienced agents, who has been hovering over the same kind of production and maybe needs a little bit more mentoring or coaching, but they're a good agent, but I don't see growth. So it's a lot of reports, watching a lot of reports and watching a lot of stats. So I look for that. I look for people who are doing business in our market that maybe are not associated with an office in our market. Because it goes back again to having local realtors have the best information, because real estate is local. And so I look for agents that maybe sold 3 or 4 properties in our market and didn't do a lot somewhere else, but their office is in a totally different region. Well, they probably could benefit from being with us and continuing to build business. I always reach out first, then I have a meeting, and from there it's a good opportunity to say, do I like you? Do you like me? Do we think this is going to work? And then go forward from there. New agents, I'm looking for people who are looking to build their business full time. I don't like to just hold licenses, because that's more work for me if I have to chase people. I don't negate people who are working and I want to build their business to be full time, as long as they'll commit to me a business plan that we put together.
Yeah. So I want to finish with this question. Doug, I want you to chime in on this for sure. What are some of the products that Houlihan Lawrence offers to their, to all of their agents? I know we spoke about, about coaching and mentorship and whatnot, but, is there a specific product or some sort of game plan that that your agents are on to, making sure that they fulfill, what they're looking to fulfill in real estate?
I think that the most important product we have to offer them is the culture of the existing agents and the culture of the leadership.
Wow. Awesome.
And that's what you get. You get a great logo with a horse on it, but
I think the brand and reputation is helpful. When you walk in and you're able to put that horse down on the table, and you have all the back end tools of generating those reports, somebody's going to listen to you more, and they're going to take it a lot more serious than if you have your own private brand or you're coming in with some of the others. We're number one, and we've constantly been number one for a reason.
And one of the things that's out there in the realtor world that we're known for and that we're very proud of is that we assist agents on every level. There's support, there's assistance, I have administrators, I have a marketing assistant, there's myself and the experience I have in the field. And I talked a lot about culture. It's really important that the agents support each other as well. And we definitely have that kind of culture. It's not so much, no, I'm not telling you that, or I'm not going to speak in this group meeting. So those are the things that are unique to who we are. We're number one in the market. We have been. We have the history of doing that. We have the reputation of a luxury brand, and yet we sell everything. So we give luxury service, is what we like to say, no matter what you're trying to sell or what you're trying to buy.
Awesome.
And then you have the support of the staff and the other agents around you.
That's awesome.
Grow up playing baseball, you want to play for the Yankees.
That's it.
Good analogy.
That's what it is, man. So, Denise, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Such great insight into what you do and Houlihan Lawrence. So excited for. Hopefully, we're going to be really excited in the near future to to really get things moving. I know you guys are working hard. I appreciate your time, and thank you so much.